On today's episode, I will share how I learned to stop procrastinating and start getting things done. Now, we all know that procrastination is a problem that many people face. It can be hard to know how to stop procrastinating, and even harder when you don't know what's causing it in the first place. There are many different reasons why people procrastinate. Well, one of the most common reason is because they're not sure where to start or what their next step should be. The best way to overcome this problem is by breaking down your tasks into smaller parts and setting deadlines for yourself so that you have something concrete to work towards. This will help you feel more accomplished with each task as well as less stressed about finishing everything on time. Hi, my name is Bruno, and this is the Battle Plan. Now, the best way to stop procrastinating is to first understand what it is that's causing you to do so. Procrastination can be the results of a number of things, including anxiety, fear, boredom, or even anger. If you're not sure why you're putting something off, take some time for introspection and ask yourself these following questions. What am I afraid will happen if I complete this task? Do I have any doubts about my ability to accomplish this goal? Am I bored with the project at hand? Is there anything else in my life that might be taking up too much of my time? Now, once you've figured out your reasons for delaying a task, it becomes easier to know how best to tackle your procrastination. If you don't know what to do about a task, then it is very easy for procrastination to set in. In these situations, if possible, ask for help and guidance from friends or family members who may be able to help you figure out the best path of action. Sometimes, simply getting an outside perspective on the situation can be enough to snap you out of a procrastination state. Now, getting things done, GTD, is a task management system that was created by David Allen in the late 90s. It has been highly regarded throughout the personal development industry ever since, and many people have found success with it. The basic idea behind GTD is that it is okay to let go of a task that you're not currently ready to deal with. It does not mean that you have failed or given up, but rather that in order to reach your desired outcome, the project may change shape sometimes as different tasks get added or removed from it. So let's explore. Number one, what is procrastination and why do we do it? Procrastination is the act of postponing or deferring tasks that required immediate action, either consciously or subconsciously. Procrastinators look for the distraction to avoid the task at hand, and it may be because they believe they're not capable of accomplishing said task. Someone who procrastinate may also do so because they think there's a better reward for delay. In other words, they're being impulsive. If you procrastinate, then it could be due to any number of reasons: fear of failure, perfectionism, need for approval from others, or boredom. The first step is to understand why you're procrastinating and then tackle the problem at its source. Number two, how to stop procrastinating. You have to understand the root of your problems. Procrastination can be overcome when one understands the roots cause or causes. The next step is to tackle those issues head on by not procrastinating and pulling oneself up by their bootstraps. Essentially, you're going to have to change some habits, and it's never easy. But if you stop, then it's time to start doing things or you'll go back into the state of inaction. For many people, a crucial part of overcoming procrastination is developing new habits that will replace the old one that caused them to procrastinate in the first place. This way of thinking goes against standard procrastination habits, which is to say, the old way of doing things. Positive self-talk will help you break out of your bad patterns and develop new ones that are more productive and lead to reaching your goal. Practice positive talk and develop a new mindset that is focused on productivity, like becoming a morning person. Now, many procrastinators are late risers, which means they're not getting anything done until the last minute, or worse yet, not at all. Late risers have to be creative in order to get everything done because if they do it first thing in the morning, they'll be motivated and have plenty of time to move on to other tasks that need to get done. As Mark Twain once said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. Eating the frog means to just do it. Otherwise, the frog will eat you, meaning that you'll end up procrastinating the whole day. Number three, why getting things done works. As we mentioned earlier, the get it done system states in order to overcome procrastination, one has to first accept they're a procrastinator and then try to change their personal habit. Change is not easy, but it's necessary in this case. A good way to start changing your habits is by developing new ones that will override the bad patterns of your old habits. You may need to take incremental steps, which is fine as long as you're moving forward. To put it in another way, don't worry about being perfect at first, just get out there and do it. At this point, the key is to break old bad habits by forming new ones. This may take some time and practice, but once you've recognized, I've finished my procrastinated task as your new habit, the next one will be easier and so on. GTD is a formula to face anything you can encounter in your life. It teaches you how to accept, evaluate, integrate, organize, and reassess it when necessary. GTD is a system independent, which means that you can adapt almost any organizational system with which you feel comfortable to implement its principles. That being said, if you haven't heard of getting things done before, I highly encourage that you learn more about it because once you do, you'll see how perfectly it applies to every aspect of your life. Number four, the benefits of getting things done. Now, the benefits of getting things done are that one is able to add order to their life. They can take on more responsibility because they are organized and know where to go for help. To be organized, it takes time and effort to get everything in reasonable order so that there is a place for everything and everything is in its place. It is important to keep your system current so that you can use it effectively. One of the ways that I've been able to keep my GTD system current is to revisit it and adjust it as needed during my weekly review. I make sure that everything I am doing at this moment has a place in my GTD system. Number five, now here's how I learned to stop procrastinating and start getting things done. Number one, I've changed my belief about myself so that I could see myself doing well instead of feeling like a failure. I took on more responsibility for my work instead of just handing in the bare minimum requirements. I started doing my best with everything on my plate. It was hard work and it took a lot of time, but it definitely paid off in the end. Number three, when I had tough homework or projects due, instead of putting it off until the last minute like I used to, I would take it home with me on the weekends and stay up late getting it done. I learned that everything ends up taking longer than you expect, anyways. So if you just do the work in a timely manner, you'll have more time to do other things. Number four, one of the biggest changes is that I stopped relying on procrastination to hide from my fears and feelings about stress. Instead of procrastinating so that I didn't have to feel rushed or like I was failing, I started accepting that it's okay to not know everything in life and it's okay to struggle. When you take on more responsibility for your work and stop blaming yourself for feeling frustrated, it stopped being scary. When you pair it with the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, I think the most important thing about it is that you start doing the one thing and stop putting things off. If you're just starting to try getting things done, then this can be really helpful because there are many times when it's hard to know what to work on, and you'll just get stuck in your head. Now, my advice is to try doing the thing that comes to mind right away without trying to figure out what the right thing is. Then you can always go back and do a better job if needed. It's okay if it doesn't come out perfectly. Just put your best effort into it. Now, in conclusion, I'm sure that many people have different opinions on the best way to stop procrastinating and start getting things done. However, here are some of my key takeaways from what I've learned. Challenge your beliefs about yourself so you can see yourself doing well instead of feeling like a failure. Take on more responsibility for your work. If it's too easy or difficult, do as much as possible with everything on your plate because it'll all end up taking longer than expected anyway. And be proud when you're struggling. It means that you're being challenged and growing in ways we couldn't otherwise accomplish without difficulty. Now, if you want to hear more information about how I learned to stop procrastinating and start getting things done, please be sure to comment down below and we will make sure to help you along the way. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please share, like, and subscribe. My name is Bruno, and I hope to see you in the next episode of The Battle Plan, where we help people like you learn new skills and new ways of doing things so that you can be the best version of yourself without endless searching or second guessing. We do this via our podcasts, YouTube, blogs, and consulting program. See you next time.